Namaskaram, Namaste. Today I'm going to show you a very special flute that I have. It's special because it's probably more than 80 years old, and it belonged to the legendary TR Mahalingam, or Mali. He played on this flute. He must be around maybe in the 1930s and early 1940s, and this is probably the flute he used when he played his famous Mahuri and Ninuvina and other things, his earliest 78 RPM records. Very much like this type of flute. Now, this flute was made by one Mr. Anantha Naryana Iyer, who lived in Nagerkoil near the southern tip of India. He was Mali's favorite flute maker, and Mali always used to go to him for his flutes. Now, he made his flutes are always meticulously made, and he used to get these bamboos and he used to dry them out for years and years, hanging them on a clothesline, and he was after being treated by boiling it in certain kind of oil in order to get all the moisture out. And he would only start working on it when the bamboo was ready, and that could take years. His craftsmanship has really showed, because the flutes he made still play very well. Like all very well-made wooden instruments, his flutes tend to age very well. Just like I'm sure you've heard of all the famous Italian violins that were made by Stradivari and others in the 1600s and 1700s. And these days they fetch millions of dollars, and their sound is just amazing. You can see that this flute also has a very rich color to it, and the color has darkened over the ages. It developed a small crack along because I live in Chicago, and the winter here gets very dry and cold, and these are not good for bamboo flutes, and they all tend to crack. And so I put a clamp on to keep the wood together. Otherwise, it still plays wonderfully. It's got a wonderful tone. Okay, enough of me playing this. I'm sure you've heard enough of an amateur hobbyist like me on it. It's time to hand it over to a real professional. I'm sure you've heard of Jayanth already. He's already a leading Carnatic flutist. He's only 25 years old, and you're going to see a lot more of him in the future. He's already started touring since the last 2-3 years, several tours to the United States and to England and to Switzerland and the Middle East. Jayanth is eminently qualified on many accounts to play this, to evoke the spirit of Mali from this flute. He has the right credentials to do so. Just like Mali, he himself was a child prodigy. And even when he was only about 2-3 years old, he used to listen to flute music all the time, and especially Mali's old records or his grandfather playing. His grandfather is none other than vidwan TS Sankaran sir. TR Sankaran sir himself was perhaps Mali's closest Sishyan in terms of blowing techniques and fingering techniques. He was also Mali's closest confidant when it came to personal matters. Jayanth, so when Jayanth was 7 or 8, he gave his first public performance, just like Mali did at a similar age. And then, he has been giving many performances. But unlike Mali, he had a very good education too. And, he qualified as an engineer. At the same time, keeping up with his flute. And, throughout his teens, his concerts, he has been accompanied by great musicians, great mridangam players and violin accompaniments like M. Chandrasekhar or the mridangam players like Umayappuram Siraman or Velu Rambhadran. That shows the caliber of his music and music abilities. And these vidwans will not agree to play to accompany any ordinary musician. Jayanth is, just recently, last December season, 2016 December season, he won from the Music Academy the Best Instrumentalist Award, and you're going to see a lot more of him in the future. Although he's, you're going to see him combine with other eminent Carnatic musicians as well as Hindustani musicians, and also flutists and other musicians of other cultures like Western classical or Western jazz in the future. I'm sure of it. So Jayanth, here's the flute. Go play with it and evoke Mali's spirit back alive. Thank you.